He went bankrupt, lost almost everything, and thought his business journey was over. What happened next led to a discovery that now helps people build businesses without investors, loans, or even startup capital. The surprising part? The assets that changed everything weren't financial assets at all. Hi, and welcome to the U World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life, health, transformational coaches, and spiritual entrepreneurs stepping up to be the change they seek in the world. I'm your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist, on a mission to empower coaches and entrepreneurs to amplify their voice, monetize their mission, and get visible. If you're ready to start attracting premium clients without chasing algorithms or hunting people down like a banshee on a mission, head over to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. It's the first step to building a business where your clients seek you out rather than you having to hunt them down. Today, we are chatting with Adam McCullough. Adam is a business coach, author, and founder of Startup with Adam. After
Oh,
experiencing bankruptcy firsthand, he developed a practical approach to helping aspiring entrepreneurs build businesses using the skills, knowledge, relationships, and resources they already possess. Through his coaching community and content, Adam has helped countless people take their first steps into business ownership without relying on large amounts of startup capital. Welcome to the show, Adam. How are you doing
hi,
today?
hi, Jill. I'm doing amazing, thank you. And that's such an amazing overview that you've just given. I've got nothing left to say. Of
Yes, you do. I got questions
course I
for
do.
you, so you're going to
Yeah,
be good. And I know that you're panicking over the question, the big question,
yeah, go on.
about what's the most significant thing, in your opinion, as individuals, we can do to make an impact on how the world is going. And if you choose not to answer, that's totally fine. But I am going to ask you the question. I'll give you the opportunity to reject it.
Yeah, I'll pass. Yeah, everyone. I don't know.
That's all good.
Great.
I know that you often help people start businesses with little or no money. And what was the moment you
Yeah.
realized that most people are looking in the wrong place when they think about what they need to get started?
So I actually started. So growing up, we had nothing. I was raised by my single mom with two sisters. We had a stepfather who didn't add much value to our lives, and so it was really tough. And I wanted to start with. I always knew that there was, I was terrible at school, really just all of the teachers had just written me off as trouble and things like that. So despite that I am quite well spoken now, back then you wouldn't recognize the earlier version of me getting into trouble, riding out of stolen cars at like, oh, that's terrible, you're smoking at 13 and all this kind of stuff. So I got in with the wrong crowd, but there was always this little spark that I knew there was something better, and I just kept on going. And one day I've had loads and loads of ideas from, like, I've always had this entrepreneurial spirit.
Mhm.
We're always doing little money making schemes at school and selling action figures that, the old Star Wars figures and all sorts of little side hustles. Um, and yeah, but it's very, really, really hard when you don't have access to money. So when I started a window cleaning business, I didn't even have money for a ladder. So I specialized in cleaning bungalows. And it wasn't until, so I just literally knocked on all these doors, built up a round. And then it wasn't until I started doing the round that when I walked around the back of the house, they were all built on a hill. And there was, I think it was about 2 or 3 stories at the back. And so I borrowed a ladder off somebody, begged, borrowed, steal. And then I realized at that point that I was terrified of heights. It was awful. So a lot of my ventures would start off with all this, incredible energy, and kept on trying, and kept on failing. Um, and one day I applied for a, I've forgotten the original question anyway, but I'll just carry on. But But I had a really good idea to set up a business. And I wanted to use my creativity as a graphic designer, so I wanted to be. So I wrote this little business plan. I sent off to the Princess Youth Business Trust, who the Prince Charles is obviously now the King of England,
Mhm.
and he really kindly lent me £5,000. And from where I had come from, £5,000 felt like £1 billion. I was just, I had no idea what to, how I was going to spend so much money. And I promptly wasted it really, really quickly. I bought a car, which was, I think was about £3,000, and then didn't have enough money to buy any of the things I needed. I bought all the wrong things. And and then, of course, I started the business having spent all the money in the first week, just made so many poor decisions. But the biggest amount of value that I had was that they assigned me a mentor called Peter Lakey, and he, and also the team of people that believed in me,
Mhm.
not necessarily my idea. The idea was average, but it was that kind of belief and the mentor and the guidance, and that he connected me up with some people, and just through his experience was able to give me the value of coaching. And it's that reason why, after I eventually kept on trying so many different businesses and then found a few that stick, made me want to follow the same path. So I approached the Peter Jones Foundation to do some voluntary coaching to give back, because I'm essentially retired. Uh, I retired about 3 or 4 years ago in my late 40s, and it's boring, isn't it? There's no so I thought I'll give back with a bit of mentoring, and it's so I just got so much value from helping youngsters and seeing them go from, just fresh out of business school with these brilliant ideas, and the nurturing and opening doors, and it just gave me so much satisfaction. So the reason I started the community was just purely out of the passion of helping people, and I think that's why our community is so value led, as opposed to some communities I've joined. I just feel like I'm a statistic or a number or part of their sales funnel, whereas we are basically trying to just absolutely help people is our first number one goal, because we know that when they are ready to then go, okay, I think, I trust you enough now, I'm ready to do this, then they'll have enough money to pay us. So it's win-win-win, which I love.
I love that model. That's the model we use too. And I'm all about, getting everybody out there. Let's see
Yeah,
what you're doing
yeah,
and how you
yeah.
can help other people. And everybody's got some special gift. I truly believe that.
Oh, absolutely. And what you said earlier is about how we help people using the skills and resources that they already have.
Mhm.
That's definitely our focus. So the first thing when somebody comes into our community is, and also everyone's version of success is entirely different.
Mhm.
So some people just want gazillions of dollars. Some people just want a really nice lifestyle where they can work a little less, or just um, some people are just happy having a nice little hobby business that pays more than their 9 to 5. But and other people want £1 billion corporations. Um, so yeah, we understand that every single person is so unique,
Mhm.
and so we're very anti-guru, very anti-blueprint, because we know that they just don't work, because you're not them, different time, different skills. So yeah.
Yeah, you didn't live all of the life experiences. And, you went through bankruptcy and it's going to
Oh,
teach you lessons.
I forgot to mention it. Yeah,
And that teaches you a lot of lessons. Like,
yeah.
I'll let you
Actually,
share yours.
after going bankrupt, so pre-bankruptcy, even when you're like tens of £1,000s in debt, people will still throw money at you. So you don't realize you're in a hole. until
Mhm.
until that very moment when suddenly you realize, actually, I can't afford to pay the bills. And I didn't learn after my bankruptcy. So I went bankrupt for about £23,000 in 1996, I think, which was a lot of money then when you
Yeah.
take inflation into account. And but then within a few months, I was £15,000 in debt immediately afterwards. But the problem is, once you've gone bankrupt, you you've
Can't do
got
it
the
again for a
official
while.
receivers on your case. They're scrutinizing your every single purchase. There's no way you can get away with it again. So that is when I learned the lesson. Was when suddenly I had to take responsibility. So going bankrupt, yeah, I sat in a courtroom. They said, "Okay, you don't owe anyone any money. We'll take care of it. It's fine." But that doesn't teach you anything. That just teaches you that you can borrow money and not pay it back. The real lesson is when I got myself back in debt and then suddenly had to take responsibility and go, actually, I need to I need to sort my life out and make a plan to pay it off. List your outgoings, expenses, and actually taking charge of your money is the very first thing that somebody needs to do. Um, Also, just stop being a. This is the thing people hate to hear is stop spending money because we all love to spend money, and I have friends that earn six figures a year and have nothing to show for it because they spend just slightly more than that every year. So yeah, taking charge of the money was a huge lesson. And of course, it was at that point that I had learned to be super creative and learned to build without any finance. Because yeah, when you're post bankrupt who's just got into more debt, you're just searching down the side of the sofa for money to buy food for the week. Yeah, nobody's giving
And
you money.
it can become either like, oh, woe is me, I'm so poor, or it
Hmm.
can be a game. In
Yeah,
our house, we have way more than enough, but I like to play the game. We shop
yeah,
on Tuesdays because you get double points, which means you can go get stuff and not have to pay for it. Nice.
absolutely. Oh,
I think that's a
oh,
great game. And we
yeah,
have stuff we buy at the dollar store because it's a dollar cheaper there. Same
yeah,
stuff. And they're right
yeah.
next to each other. So we have the list and it's just my husband and I now. And really, it doesn't take a lot to keep us going. But
No,
it's kind of fun to
it is.
like,
I agree. Yeah, and I mean, there's loads of tips in my book. I don't know if I told you I wrote a book.
mhm,
Um, how to start a business with no money, obviously. And in there's lots of tips about just there's simple little strategies for there's credit cards that will give you points and cash back. There's so many ways, and I mean other people's money as well is actually you can just set up a whole business or using other people's assets and money and
mhm.
you don't have to risk a penny. So anyone who tells me, oh, I can't, well, anyone who says I can't, full stop, I'm just like, yeah, you can. Of course you can, because 80% is fine
You
today.
can't because you think you can't. But there's
Yeah.
always opportunity and there's spaces out there. We were talking about Substack.
Oh,
Substack's free and you can
right.
make money. They make money when you make money, so they're inspired to
Yeah,
actually help you make money.
of
So
course.
it's just like that's just one place. And there's hundreds, if not thousands of them. Everybody has an idea. And, you know, if one person will buy your idea, others will too.
Yeah, simple. It's so simple. I think also we're all really guilty and of overcomplicating business as well. And sometimes I wonder if a lot of this is a procrastination strategy, if maybe we're just a little bit afraid of the success or putting ourselves out there because it's so much easier. I was just thinking today, I was going to, one of my little Substack notes was going to be, are you busy or are you being productive? Like, or
Because
like
they're
I
not the
couldn't
same.
quite find the words, but it's very easy to get dive into your emails and start doing all this stuff and then sit back and go, oh, I've done so much today. But actually, what you really should be doing, thinking is how much have I actually worked towards my goals? Yeah, so quite a big
How
difference.
much of what you're doing is money producing activity versus busy work? And
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
And I,
AI because AI helps us with the busy work. You can knock
yes.
that out so much faster than you used to
Mm,
be able to and get back to the things that actually are income producing things, like having conversations with people or helping people do the thing that you're really good at that they're not good at. And you can tell people how to do the thing you're really good at, and you're going to think, "Oh, I'm giving everything away," but you're not, because
no,
people don't know what you know. It's like the
yeah.
auto mechanic, they can tell me how to change the oil in my car, and could I do it? Maybe if
Yeah.
I watched enough YouTube channels and videos or whatever. But I don't want to. Just tell me how much you're going to charge me to fix the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm out the door. I'm happy to pay you for your expertise. And everybody has some sort of expertise that another person is willing to pay them for.
Yeah. I agree. And I've just learned this recently is that we should always be doing the things that are natural to us, that we really love to do, because it's very easy to read all the books and watch all the YouTube videos and all the information that's out there and go, okay, I have to have a YouTube channel. But if YouTube is something that terrifies you and you absolutely don't want to do, but you love writing, then just write. Just change your model to do that. Or whatever. Even if you just love to party, then set up a business like hosting parties. Like there's always something that will fit what gives you pleasure. And also, if you're following your passion and doing things that you absolutely love, then you're bound to succeed over something that you just go, hey, this will make some money, and just do, So I'm a big believer in following your skills and your passion for
I
sure.
think this good parenting advice is to look at your kid's superpower, even if you don't understand that superpower, and
Yeah,
everybody has one,
yeah,
and encourage them to lean into it. I think if somebody had done that with you when you were in school, schools are notorious for like stamping out
yeah,
anybody who's unique
yeah.
or won't play the game, then you're
Mhm.
automatically, there's something wrong with you. And it can really impact people for the rest of their lives when there's really nothing wrong with you. You're just a human being. And this is how your flavor showed up.
Yeah.
It's like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I've still got all my school reports, and if I look at them, it's Adam is a dreamer. Adam could do better or can work well when he applies himself. And actually, yeah, being a dreamer is a brilliant
Yeah.
creative skill. Um, but it was sold to me as a negative, not like Adam's a dreamer. He's a visionary. He's got all these amazing, brilliant ideas. So yeah, I think schools are a bit better now than they were in the 70s, maybe.
I don't think so.
I
I
don't
think they're I
know.
think they're actually worse because you have a
Oh,
whole bunch of people that are really young who went through school in the 70s and 80s, and
right.
they're like, just homeschool your kids. You'll do fine. You don't really even need to school them. You need to teach them how to read, how to write, how to do arithmetic, because those are things that you actually need in life. The rest of
Yes.
it is like teach them how to cook, teach them how to identify what food is. I know it's a shocking thing, but there are so many people in the world that don't really understand what is food and what is not food. This is actually
Oh,
poison.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's a whole nother thing, isn't it?
It is totally. Was there an aha moment that eventually led to your book and the work you do today? What
There,
happened?
I tell you, there absolutely was an aha moment. And so this book, How to Start a Business with No Money, I had in me for about 8 years before I published it. I haven't actually published it; it's available for pre-launch. But before I
Mhm.
wrote it, and the reason it took 8 years is because I felt like a fraud writing the book. Because I have started many businesses that would I would start and they would rocket, rocket, rocket. And then they would level off and then they would die a little bit or completely and fall off the cliff. And then I'd start another business and it would go, 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 and it would peter off and die. So I thought, I could, I mean, yeah, I know how to start a business with no money, but people don't just want to have a business that's going to do okay and then die. And one day I read a book. I can't even remember what the book was. It was because I have property that we rent a lot of property out now, and it was related to that. The name escapes me, but I read a bit, and I read a snippet of information in there that suddenly it was like finding the final piece of the jigsaw, because suddenly I knew how to scale. And the thing I discovered was that the skills that you need to scale your business from this point, where normally it would do this and die, is the exact opposite to what you need to get there in the first place. So, of course, when you're doing it all by yourself with no money, you're doing everything. And there comes to a particular squeeze point where if you're doing everything, you can't possibly do any more. You've reached maximum capacity. So you either burn out or you just carry on at that level forever, because there's only 70 hours in a day. So in our case, there was only two of us in our business. Even when we would employ people, we would still try to have that control that we had learned and our own ways of doing things. And the most important thing is just to let go, trust people to run with their skills and what they're good at, and outsource a lot more than even and outsource before you even think you can afford it, because that buys you that precious time and attention that we can then focus on growth rather than just running our business. Because otherwise, you've just made a job. Like we don't
Yeah.
do this just to give ourselves a job. Well, unless we're loving it and that's our life choice, that's fine. But for many of us, we
You can
actually want a bit more.
you can often collaborate with people and swap skills, especially when you reach
Mm,
that point where you need to like you need other people in your business to help you get a little bit further. And there are
yeah.
ways to do that without actually having to pay out money. And because of AI has solved so many problems for me
Yes.
personally. I
Yeah.
just like,
No, I agree. I fully embrace
like
AI. Yeah.
I could have spent literally thousands of dollars on a project that I've been working on
Yeah.
that I spend $20 a month to
That's
have done.
amazing, isn't it? Isn't that
It's like
incredible? Yeah.
cheapest VA ever. But you have to know what you're looking for. I mean,
Yeah.
it isn't going to read your mind, and you have to know how to use the tool
Yeah. Yeah.
to actually save you time and energy. But it's just like there has never been an easier time to start and succeed at a business than right now.
Do you know what? That's exactly the words in my opening line of the book, because there is the perfect time of opportunity. Yeah, and I mean, I when I wrote the book, it's even easier now because AI tools are, yeah, they're so there's just so many things you can do. I mean, it's just so much quicker, easier. It's so much easier to collaborate with anyone in any niche, because and you can communicate with them at the speed of light. And it's just, yeah, I mean, compared to when I was trying to start a business in the 90s, where you'd literally have to go to the bank and you it's a whole different world.
I
It's
started
so
a cleaning business back in the 90s, in the early 90s. It was late
yeah,
80s. And I went door to door. It's just like
exactly.
your
That's what you have
bungalow.
to do.
Window cleaning business. You knock on the door and you ask them, hey,
Yeah.
do you need somebody to
Yeah.
do this service for you? And they say yes or no. And you knock on a lot of doors. And then
Yeah.
you finally build up a clientele. And then you have to go do the work. And
Yeah.
it's just like, that was hard.
Yeah. Although so a lot of the core principles are the same in
Mhm.
the respect that we still have to go out and find up people,
You
but
still
it's
have
just
to
so
knock
much.
on the digital door.
But nowadays, it's so easy. You can knock on 1,000 doors in a day easily, and not only that, but they're in. They're interested in exactly what you've got to say. Um, yeah, it's just because the targeting is just so specifically granular. So yeah, opportunity, absolutely.
Yeah. At the start of this conversation, we talked about the hidden asset that can be worth more than funding, investors, or even a great business idea. What is that asset, and how can someone listening today identify it in their own life and use it to start building a business immediately?
What do you think that asset is, Jill?
I really think it's your superpower. It's that
Yes.
thing that you're gifted with that,
What
God,
what I was going to say is it is your brain, because that it all you need to succeed is your idea and your passion and action, and that's literally all you need, because all of the information you need is out there. You definitely don't need to buy another course unless that course is very specifically going to give you, to get you to your goal quicker, as part of your strategy. But you definitely don't need to buy, 100 different courses and not act on them. It's just literally, here's an idea. How do I do it? Find out how to do it and just run with it. It's so simple, isn't it?
it is so simple. About 10 years ago, I decided that I wasn't going to buy courses anymore unless I bought something that solved a specific problem for my
Yes,
business. And
yes.
it's not to never buy courses. It's to buy things that are moving you towards your goal, not derailing you and sending you off in a different direction. And it's
You've
so
got it.
easy to do.
That's exactly right, Jill. And so we said earlier, about, I think I was going to say I would happily start from zero again, because the challenge it's just a fun challenge. We're saying about just how we get all the points and trying to save as much money as we can
Mhm.
and everything. So when I start a business with no money, I and the startup with Adam, basically as a coaching business, when I decided I wanted to help people, I started, on purpose with no money, in this venture. So obviously it's a little easier for me because I've got the gift of time. But unemployed people who are looking to do something more fulfilling have this. So um, so yeah, I didn't have to do a 9 till 5, to do this, so I could do it quicker. But still, I literally went, okay, I'm going to start with nothing, and I'm intentionally not going to invest anything in this because I want to be on the same level as the people I'm helping to demonstrate how easy it is. So I literally started with just, um, finding I used some affiliate programs and just started, shouting out of some of my friends in different communities to say, okay, if you're looking to do this, go to this person, they can help. And then I earned about $300. So then I went, okay, I'm going to use this $300 to buy a course to learn more about specific AI stuff because I want to leverage the power of that. And then that, will help us to bring more money and so on and so forth. So I think I'm about, hey, it's in the company, because I've not drawn any money. I just take all of the money it's generated, and we're not even monetized with, the community. I'm literally just, like I said earlier, giving all the value because we know that as soon as we say, okay, um, I'm going to introduce some paid tiers really shortly in the next couple of months. And so, um, yeah, but it's once you've got somebody's attention, the money just comes anyway because you just get like so if I'm going to mention your community and mine for example to say you really need a Substack and this is the person to help you with it. So then when people trust you to say, okay, here's I want you to help me, then I'll get paid a little bit and that'll be more money to invest. It's just so easy.
That is one of the hidden secrets of school, because that's what
Mm,
Adam's talking about here is school communities. You don't have to actually have a community in order to be an affiliate for school communities. So you can go and find communities that are offering affiliate commissions, and you can find that out because you just click on the settings button over there and it'll say, we pay whatever their going rate is. And for our community, it's 40%. And anybody and everybody, I have a lot of people making money off of my community.
and that's great, isn't it?
It is great. I love paying people to help
Yeah,
me
of
get the
course
word
we
out.
do. Yeah.
It's how you grow and it's how you connect with other people. And it's just like, there's more than enough to go around, but you can get started by just helping other people discover things that you love. You have to be part of the community. That's the only requirement on school. But you don't have to own your own community, which is a pay to play space if you're going to have a community. And there's a couple levels in there, but we're not going to go into that. It's just that you don't have to have a product, but people will pay you money.
It
And
is. It is a hidden gem, isn't it? And actually,
it's so fantastic.
I was blown away that in my. I mean, it's not a life changing amount of money, like $300 in the first couple of months,
But it
but
can be because it catapulted you to be able to do some other
exactly,
things, which moves you up to the
exactly,
next level, to move you
you
up to
got
the
it.
next level. It's not that
Yeah,
you should never buy courses, but or that you're never buying courses or paying for information because information from somebody who knows what they're talking about can shorten your learning curve and speed you up faster. But you
exactly.
don't have to like pull it out of your pocket. You could make the
Mhm,
money and then you use that money for this. It's the back to the game thing. Oh,
exactly. And that's exactly what. Yeah, it's just it's just
I get
it's such
so
a
excited.
simple strategy.
So, how can people get in touch with you and learn more about starting a business with no money? Just
Join the
like this.
community, get on skill. Yes, it's startupwithadam.co.uk/community. That takes you into our school community. So I refer to it as our school community because I'll just tell you briefly how we ended up with the resident experts. So because although I'm retired, I'm busy with projects. I love to build things other than businesses. So I've got projects always on the go, DIY, pond sheds, property, and all lots of other things. So I knew that building a community on school was going to be time consuming. So I wanted to get a couple of friends involved. So I thought I'll outsource my weaknesses because I've got to admit, I'm terrible with social media. It's always been a weakness in our businesses. And also, email marketing has been a massive weakness. So I'm going to outsource these two things. And then I thought, and any other areas that I might not have the best advice for, and there's people better than me at it. And of course, the more the more people I met and the more contacts I made, and especially on school, there's just so many super brilliant niches and like-minded entrepreneurial value forward people that I just fell in love with and went, oh, I'd love to have you as a expert. So basically, I wanted four or five. I pitched it to 22 people thinking I'd get my four or five, and only two people decided not to. And the other 20 were like, yeah, of course we're in. We'd love to be involved. So that's why we've got so much help. And it's amazing. It's just incredible to have people that can come in and say, So now I know niches are where we're meant to be, but we can literally say, I want to, whatever they want to do, there's help in that area. So you were saying about coming on as a resident expert with Substack. That's an area, it's a niche I didn't even know existed. So of course, at some point in the future, well, you're in our community anyway, aren't you? So that help is already there.
Yeah, it's just like,
It's,
and becoming a resident expert to me is about providing value to the community that you're in.
Mhm.
It's not about, hey, come over here and buy my crap. It's,
Exactly.
hey, did you know? And a lot of people
You got
just
it.
don't know. I know a lot of the resident experts in your community, and they're all forward
Yeah.
thinking, very giving people. And the trainings that you have in your community are all about just do this. This is the
Hmm.
first step in. And don't worry about all the bells and whistles. Just take this first
Yeah.
step and we'll hold your hand. And
You got it.
they're just like people on school are so giving and so all about everybody
Yeah.
helping everybody else and just like and making connections and it's just like it's such a special space.
Well, this was the other. I know I'm probably conscious of overrunning on time now, but that you just mentioned another point that with school communities there are so many that you think, oh, this is amazing value. I'm definitely joining. But one of the problems with school is that there are so many, and then you join 100 different communities, and then you become super overwhelmed because you got a billion notifications, and suddenly you're like, oh, I can't support everyone, and I want to. And that is another reason why, as it evolved, we went, okay, we're going to have a room where more like a so instead of lots of little communities with everyone shouting over the other for attention, we're like, well, let's all come to this one place where we've got like a big round table. So it's more like a pub where you just go, oh, by the way, have you met so and so? They can probably help you along with that. And it's just conversation and it's all lovely. Yeah, I
It
so love it.
I do too. The whole affiliate link thing, it just makes it so easy to share with people. And even if you're not active in a community, just because you've been in that community and you know the owner and you know what's going on in there, every once in a while you poke your head in.
Yeah,
I'm sharing communities that I've been part of for a really long time. I'm not super active in them. I maybe
yeah,
pop in once a month, really.
yeah, and
But
that's fine.
I'm always recommending them to people.
Yeah,
That's like,
yeah.
you really need to meet this person. They can help you with that problem that you have. And it's like collecting the old Rolodex. Lots of,
It kind of is. Yeah.
so don't
Yeah.
feel bad. And there's ways to turn off the notifications so you're not overwhelmed, or you can just learn to ignore them. I
Yeah. That's a really important thing, actually. And that's one thing I do is the first thing I join a community is turn off every notification, apart from the events. I always leave the events on because
Yeah.
I love to know what's going on. But I can, that just goes into a different email folder on my email. And I'll just browse it and go, yeah, I'll do that one today. Yeah, I'll pop in and say hi. And yeah, because, yeah, I love it. Great.
Thank you so much for joining me, Adam. This is a
That's all
great
right. Yeah, it's
conversation.
fun. I could talk to you all night.
And it was painless. You're on video.
Oh, don't remind me. Don't remind me. I'll hide under the table. Yeah.
Y'all can learn more about Adam and take advantage of all the massive resources he has in his community by visiting startupwithadam.co.uk/community. And we'll be sure to put the links in the description below. Thank you for joining us today. If you're ready to amplify your voice, monetize your mission, and start attracting premium clients, your next step is simple. Head on over to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. Join us for our next episode as we share what others are doing to raise the global frequency. And remember, change begins with you. You have all the power to change the world. Start today and get visible.